Are you ready for a Bible story? Me too. Today's story is Joseph, a ruler in Egypt. This is found in Genesis chapter 41. One morning, Pharaoh called the wise men of Egypt to tell him the meaning of two strange dreams, but they could not explain the dreams. Pharaoh was greatly troubled. When the chief butler heard about this, he remembered his dream in prison and Joseph's kindness. How could he have forgotten Joseph? Now he told Pharaoh about Joseph. Immediately the king sent for him. Joseph was busy caring for the prisoners when the messenger came from the king's palace. Pharaoh wants to see you at once, he told Joseph. Why did Pharaoh send for me? Joseph wondered. If only he would set me free. Joseph shaved and put on clean clothes, then he hurried to the royal palace. At the palace, Pharaoh was anxiously waiting. Everyone was deeply troubled. If this strange young man cannot help, what shall we do? They wondered. They heard footsteps outside the door, and Joseph was brought in. This fair-skinned and handsome young man was the center of attention at once. Pharaoh said, I have heard that you can tell the meaning of dreams. I have had two dreams which trouble me greatly, and none of the wise men of Egypt can tell me what these dreams mean. Joseph replied, Only God gives this kind of wisdom. This wisdom does not belong to me. It belongs to God. He will help me to know the meaning of your dreams. Then Pharaoh explained, In my dream, I was standing by the river Nile when 7 fat cattle came up out of the river and fed in the green meadow. Later, 7 very lean cattle came up out of the river and stood on the bank. The lean cattle ate the fat ones. Still, they were as thin as they were at the first, and I awoke. Afterwards, I fell asleep and dreamed again. This time, I saw 7 ears of corn grow up out of one stalk. Full, good ears they were. The 7 other ears sprang up, withered, thin, and blasted with an east wind. These thin ears ate the good ones. And once more, I awoke. Joseph told the king, Both dreams have the same meaning. God wants you to know what's going to happen. The 7 fat cattle and the 7 full ears are 7 years. The 7 lean cattle and the 7 thin ears are the next 7 years. God is telling you there will be 7 years of plenty throughout all Egypt. Afterwards, there will be 7 years of famine. These years of famine will be so hard that the good years will be forgotten. All the food will be gone. God has given you these 2 dreams to show you that these things will happen soon. He has warned you to prepare for the famine, or it could destroy you and your kingdom. You should appoint a wise man to look after the food supply. During the 7 plentiful years, let him save enough grain each year so that there'll be food for all during the famine. Pharaoh and his attendants listened carefully to Joseph's words. The king said, Surely the Spirit of God is in this man. His words are good. Can we find another who could manage the affairs of this kingdom more wisely than he? Pharaoh made Joseph ruler over all the land of Egypt. He dressed Joseph in royal robes and put a gold chain about his neck. He took off his signet ring and put it on Joseph's finger. Pharaoh said, You shall be overseer of my house, and your word shall govern my people in all of Egypt. I am the only one who will be greater than you. And Pharaoh gave Joseph a chariot. In this, Joseph rode through the streets of the city, and the people bowed before him. Pharaoh called Joseph Zaph-Enath-Paneah, which means the man to whom secrets are revealed. He also gave Joseph an Egyptian girl to be his wife. All this honor did not change Joseph's heart. He was still kind and fair to all. Day after day, he rode through the land and gathered up the food which grew everywhere in abundance. He stored this food for the years of famine. During this time, God blessed Joseph with 2 sons. Joseph named them Manasseh and Ephraim. And Joseph was grateful to God for all his blessings. He realized that all his troubles had brought about this great honor he now enjoyed. When the 7 years of plenty had passed, the years of trouble began. Nowhere in all Egypt would grain grow. When the people asked for food and needed food, they came to Joseph. opening the storehouses that had been filled during the years of plenty, he sold food to the Egyptians. Not only in Egypt was there a terrible famine, but also in the countries round about. From far and near, people came to Joseph, begging him to sell them corn lest they die of hunger. Wow, what a great story.